And if you're just tuning in, two unlikely mates, celebrity stylist Elliot Garno and Norm Smith medalist Isaac Smith are here to tell you what is what.
Hey, no Utes in the Valet.
Today on No Utes in the Valet, we've got a guest who truly does it all and does it with grit, grace and glamour.
She's a lifelong Cat supporter, a former number one ticket holder, and someone who knows footy, not just as an outsider looking in, but as a fan who has lived and breathed it since day one.
She's also a fashion lover and now a beauty entrepreneur, and in some circles we refer to her as my aunt. We are thrilled to welcome Rebecca Maddern. Are you my aunt or not? We need to put the rumours to rest on the record.
Loosely.
Loosely.
Much like our friendship.
How's that mean?
No.
What's that? Loosely. How's that work?
Loosely. So my niece,
Your
obviously
niece?
my brother's, do you need me to go way back?
no.
So my brother's child.
I've got nieces.
We're going to go into
You
biology.
understand?
Except I don't have a brother.
But, okay, dear. So my brothers, or sisters, but I don't have a sister.
Yeah.
So my brother's child, Georgia,
Yep.
her husband is Elliot's brother. Is that the most simplistic
That was the simplest way to put it.
Yeah.
And so many people are like, aren't you related to Beck Maddern? Like, what's the relationship? So, Beck is my sister-in-law's aunt, but, you know, family values. We all pile on.
Yeah.
I call India and Jock my in-laws. I call Beck my auntie. It's just we're one big happy family.
Yeah.
Blended, happy, fabulous.
Exactly. And what's family these days? You know, it's a loose definition, isn't it?
Correct. It's all about love.
We have a connection through marriage, absolutely.
Exactly right.
Yeah.
Okay, so
we're not married.
Yeah. Well, not yet.
And that's got a Geelong connection.
Not through you.
No.
No.
That's through you.
Our family connection's not through Geelong.
No.
But obviously there's a significant relationship between your family and the Geelong Football Club, of which Isaac got to become much more familiar with when he was playing.
You joined our family. You see how
Correct.
this
Yeah.
works?
No, there's lots of families.
You joined the family.
I'm in lots of families. It's scary. And some families hate me at some points and other families really love me.
I know.
But
Do you feel like you're part of... I know this is not my
I was
podcast,
gonna
and
say,
now I'm...
aren't we asking the
And
question?
like, why would we have a
Sorry.
journalist on our podcast? It's like, and now we're being interviewed. Perfect.
Can I just ask this
Yeah.
one question? Do you feel like split, or do you feel you belong to two different families?
Feel like I belong to two different.
All right, we've
That
got
was
news
very
for you.
it was very uncomfortable watching the prelim final not long ago.
Was it?
Yeah. I was sitting, I had Joel Selwood one side of me and I had Liam Shields the other side of me. And it was like your ties and allegiances were just in weird
What
spots.
did you do?
Well, I don't know. At some points I was cheering, at other points I wasn't. It was very uncomfortable. But the beauty was that my grand final week was locked away financially because I had a team playing in the grand final. And ultimately, Beck, isn't that what it's all about?
No, there's more to life, Izzy. There's more to life.
I'm bringing this back. Football, fashion. This is the hybrid of No Utes in the Valet, but obviously you are so like identifiable with the Geelong Football Club, right?
Yes.
And so obviously having been the last club that Isaac played for and a very big part of the narrative of No Utes in the Valet, we wanted to know about this passion for football. Did you choose the footy? Did the footy choose you? This is obviously from your earliest memories. What are your earliest memories of the Geelong Football Club and your involvement?
So I have 5 brothers, 3 stepbrothers and 2 brothers, and they're all quite a lot older than me. I'm the only girl and the baby of the family. So when you grow up in Geelong in a household full of boys, you don't really have much choice but to, absorb what's going on around you, and that being football. I also have family history with the Geelong Football Club. My great-grandfather played for Geelong, captained the side for a short period of time.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, so he was a ruckman back in the day. So around the
They're-
sort
they're
of
the tall ones,
1917, around sort of 1917. So a long time ago, my great-grandfather on my mum's side. So growing up in a household full of boys, it was just natural, cricket, football, all of those sorts of things. Which you may or may not believe, I wasn't really a girly girl. Like, I grew up on a farm. You probably don't know that either, but I grew up on a farm.
Well, I actually know that I live about a kilometre from where you grew up.
Oh,
Really?
presently.
Presently.
You presently live there. Wow.
About a kilometre.
I have not been there for ages.
Well, the post and rail fence needs a bit of a paint job.
Yeah, I'm sure it does.
Yeah, it started to peel a bit.
Yeah.
And then the cost was to build a mega mansion across the road.
Is that right?
Yeah. So
Wow.
it looks a bit run down, your farm,
Oh,
to be honest.
probably. It was a long time ago. I lived there. So I wasn't really a girly girl. So, I mean, I was born a long time ago, so there wasn't much to
You
do.
couldn't have been.
There wasn't.
No, you
Thank
couldn't
you.
have
So there wasn't really a lot to do. You grow up in Geelong, you go to the football, you play netball, which
Yeah.
I did at Cardinia Park. Every Saturday was netball, and there was a group of girlfriends that we would just play netball, and then we would go to watch the Cats. That was just our rite of passage. That's what we did. And then a little bit later on, when I was sort of in my teens, I suppose, my stepfather, who I've grown up with since I was about 3 or 4, was on the board of the Geelong Football Club. So we were very sort of heavily involved in the football club for at least a decade. So that was sort of, it was just part of our life. We actually used to go to the basketball as well. He was involved in the board on the Supercats. So
Oh,
we
yeah?
used to do, the Supercats was the Geelong team, Elliot.
I'm blanking for everyone
I know,
listening
it's
and
like,
not watching this. I'm like,
What?
Yeah,
So we used
unless
to go
you
to the
have Geelong
football.
listeners,
So
they
we used
won't
to have the double on a Saturday. We used to go to the football on a Saturday and then the
Into the
basketball
basketball.
on a Saturday night. So it was just a love that I formed through girlfriends and friendships. And we still have that connection with a lot of my girlfriends. So we are going to be the old grannies with our rugs on our knees, still going to the football together. I think there's 3 or 4 of us that still have the connection of the Geelong Football Club. And I just love football. I love sport. I wasn't particularly really good at it. I won a few awards.
Oh,
You didn't ask, but I offered.
Participation.
yeah.
They weren't.
The one that I used to get. What's it called? The,
Oh, no, you wouldn't have
Most
even
improved.
participated.
Most improved.
Yeah.
Most
You wouldn't
improved.
have even participated, I wouldn't have thought.
Straight in the bin. Mum's like, oh, awesome. Bish.
Yeah, the
Lovely.
Coaches Award, awesome.
Yeah, Coach's Award.
So I've just always loved football. Fast forward, did I think I would ever work in football? Absolutely not. I started, as a news journalist in the 7 newsroom when I was 23 or 24 years of age. And I suppose it's just gone full circle. But that's the interesting thing about life, isn't it? It takes you in really weird, wonderful places. And I think you end up probably where you're supposed to be, but you just can't see it at the time.
So 2 things. I think about your stepdad every day.
Do you?
This is really uncomfortable.
Okay, why?
Because
Well, he's a very handsome man,
he is-
actually.
I reckon
happened?
he is on 90% of the number plates driving around Geelong.
Yes, exactly.
And
He would-
Melbourne, for that matter, actually.
I reckon Rex would have to be the most recognised name in Geelong, possibly behind Gary
Do you know the
Ablett.
weird thing about that? Is that no one thinks often people don't think he's a real person.
Oh, really?
They just think it's the name of a company, not a
No
real
way.
person.
So for those
Yeah.
listening, Rebecca's stepfather is a gentleman of the highest order by the name of Rex Gorell, who has car dealerships down in Geelong, but is also, as we've just heard from Beck, highly involved in the Geelong Football Club and the culture of the town as a whole. So very impactful man down south.
And it's a wonderful story, actually, if I can just
Yeah,
indulge you for a
of
minute.
course.
Because, he started basically with nothing. His father was a plumber. They didn't have any money. He begged the bank to give him a loan to start up his own thing. He started with a very small car dealership, grew, got the Ford dealership, which he still has many, 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 many years ago, and has built it and widened and broadened, and all of his sons now work in the business. So it's a true family business and something that I, as I get older, has really inspired me because there's not many around these days.
Totally.
Yeah, I lived across the road from one of your stepbrothers when I was in Newtown in
That's
Hermitage Road.
right.
But it's funny. There's 2 amazing things about that story. One, that Rex was able to get money out of the bank, so it must have been a long time ago.
It was a long time
They're not
ago.
giving any money out at the moment. And 2, and Elliot, you wouldn't know this, but the Ford and Geelong partnership is the oldest partnership in world sport, which is something pretty cool.
Really?
Yeah.
Which
Wow,
the Gorells
that's
are very
actually-
much
that's
intertwined in.
incredible.
Yeah.
You made reference as at the time when you were number 1 ticket holder at Geelong that you formed a lot of fantastic relationships with the players. Was there a player that surprised you the most that you weren't expecting to develop such a great friendship with, or someone who really kind of struck a chord with you on a personal level?
No, not surprise me. I know that that to be part of a successful team, everybody has to have some pretty wonderful attributes to begin with. So I wasn't surprised by their nature or their generosity. There were some that I loved interviewing because I did a lot of interviewing, better than others because they were just easier to speak to, but that's the nature of an interview. But I was just always really not surprised. I was just always quite taken aback by all the things that he had on his plate. I'm talking about Joel Selwood, how generous he was with his time. I would often, text him after a game to say congratulations, He would be if not the first person to respond back, he would be responding back at 3:00 in the morning. I'm like, no need for the response. No need for the. And he was obviously, still recovering or couldn't sleep after a game, as I'm sure, you often can't. He would always respond. He would never not respond. He would never not ask how Ruby was or my husband was or my family was. He's just a really, truly unique, wonderful person. But I actually forged a very close relationship with Mitch Duncan, who has just since retired and is moving to Perth. Demi and Mitch are two great people.
A lot of fun.
And they are really great fun.
Yeah.
And we actually formed quite a connection. They won't know this, but they had their daughter, Scarlett, around the time that Trent and I were in the throes of IVF and it not being successful. And I remember the day they were round at our house for a barbecue down the coast. And I remember looking at them, and Scarlett, their firstborn, was so beautiful and so well behaved. And she was just sitting in the pram. And I just kept looking at Trent thinking, oh, that's exactly what we want. And so they were they didn't know it at the time, but they were a real part of our journey of wanting children.
Have you told them since?
Yeah, I have. And they were like, they were really happy that we eventually got our dream.
That's really special.
Yeah.
Can we touch on that?
Yeah.
Well, just our journey, we went through miscarriages and all different things, but we've had so many friends on the IVF journey. And so many friends that end up having kids later in life, and they've tried to have them earlier in life. But that's what I wanted to ask you around career, and I didn't realise you went through the IVF journey. But being in media, and you don't see a lot of women in media have kids, and you're seeing it more often and more often now, but they tend to have them later in life. And I didn't realise it was the IVF journey, or if you tried to have them earlier. But can you fill us in a little bit on all that?
It was through a lot of different circumstances. And I think, and I'm happy to say, there was times in my early 30s that all of my friends were having babies.
Yeah.
And I wasn't truly, honestly convinced that I wanted to.
Yeah.
I had an extremely fulfilling life. I loved my career. I loved my job. And I think I brought it up with my mum on a few occasions, like, what would you think if I didn't have children? And she was always just, it's your life, you do what you want. There is absolutely no pressure from us. And then when I did decide I wanted children, it was quite late, which makes it very difficult. And we went down the path of IVF, which didn't actually work for us. So we gave up. We completely gave up on having children. And then it happened.
It happened.
Amazing what a good holiday will do.
But you hear that so often.
You do.
And I'm not sure.
Really
is it the
funny.
stress
Don't
gets all-
say
or what is
relax.
It? What is
you're
it?
just relaxed.
But that's what
Trust
everyone
me,
says. They're
I
like,
was
just
very
relax.
relaxed at the
Yeah,
start.
I'm really believing it.
I was really, really relaxed. But you are at the start when you go, okay, you make the decision, you think
Right.
it's going to be fun and
Yeah.
whatever. Of course I was relaxed at the start.
And then it's not
and
fun.
then it's not
Yeah.
fun, and then it's very expensive. And my heart breaks for people who are in the middle of IVF.
Yeah.
People who haven't gone through it never know how difficult it is. It can be a relationship breaker. It's a soul destroyer, and trying to work. And I was doing the footy show when I was going through this, so I had the most stress in my life in terms of my professional life.
Yeah.
And it was happening just at the time when I was going through IVF, and I wasn't prepared to tell anybody. People are a lot more open about it
Yeah,
now.
they are, certainly.
But I didn't want to tell anyone. So I was going through all of that when I was going through the most stressful and challenging part of my career. So that was fun.
Isn't it amazing? But you talk about the fun, or we're going to start the journey, the fun. Candice is gynecologist. I'm not sure if we'll run with this on air because
Oh my goodness, where are we going? We just said the word gynecologist. I'm getting scared.
No, but
What are you going to say about a
so
gynecologist?
we're at the Epworth because we were having a few issues as well. Candice got endometriosis and she's
Sure,
had
so
a lot
have
of
I.
issues and all different stuff. And we're sitting with Hugo Fernandez after we'd been trying for a while. And Hugo goes, "Now here's the fun part, Isaac." And he said, "Now you get to try again." And I said, "I'm sick of trying.
Yeah.
I don't want to try anymore.
I know.
I don't even want to see it."
Isn't that strange? Isn't that strange? Did you think those words would ever come out of
No,
your mouth?
never.
Exactly. I don't want to tonight, honey.
Yeah.
Did you think that would ever
And
come
then-
out of your
And
mouth?
then you're on the clock and you're just thinking, I got nothing in me today.
It's really interesting, isn't it? And
Yeah.
that's the story I hear over and over again. It's like, but you need to.
And that's as deep as we'll get into that
Exactly.
conversation.
You can fill in all the blanks.
Now, you mentioned that all of this was happening in arguably one of the most stressful times of your career when you're at the footy show. When you walked onto the footy show as the first female host, do you feel like you were handed a script, or did you feel like you had a certain level of responsibility to rewrite the script of what the Australian public had interpreted the footy show as for so long?
Yeah, it was a real moment. And I didn't think, to be honest, it was going to be such a big deal. I mean, I've been in the media for quite some time. I was quite established. It was a new format for me, a new genre, but I'm like, okay, I've sort of got this. But 2 weeks leading up to it, it was just a ridiculous amount of talk and chatter and press and headlines and newspaper articles that I did sort of get lost in that. And I really struggled with who should I be on this show? Should I be there for the women who have not been represented on this show? Should I just be me, someone who loves the footy, who knows a little bit about footy, that's on television, that's what I do? Or, should I be one of the boys? Should I forget about the women and I just want to be accepted by this group? Albeit I did know a lot of the guys quite well before I did the show, but there was all these three sort of positions that I could have gone. I think I merged all of those somewhat successfully.
I would agree with that. I watched.
However, I think back and, maybe nearly 10 years on now, I wish I could do it again. I wouldn't have cared two hoots about what anybody was writing or what anybody was saying or what anybody wanted me to be. I would have just thought, I'm just going to say whatever I want. There were moments during the show, and it's a live show, and you talk about scripts. There's no scripts. That was the biggest challenge for me because I'd come pretty much straight from a newsroom, which was everything was contrived. It was quite concise.
Teleprompted.
Exactly. Most of my life was a teleprompter. So being on a show where you had absolute freedom to ask whatever you wanted. Say Isaac was a guest. No one would ask me in the production meetings, what will you be asking Isaac? No one.
So it's just free reign. You're just riffing.
Natural, organic.
Just
flow.
riffing.
And I was thinking, is someone going to check?
I'm looking. Isaac's smiling from ear to ear, and I'm like, this sounds so daunting. And Isaac's like, this sounds amazing.
Oh, I love it.
Is someone going to check? And it's fine, but this is a live show. There's obviously time constraints. And we also have a live audience. There were 600 people in a live audience.
That's the hardest.
So you're working to a live audience. You're also working to a TV audience, and you're constantly interviewing, people and different topics, and things go. We had guests on the show that things just went completely like, I'm not prepared for this.
Where is my reputation?
What is happening? And in the commercial breaks, you're like, oh gosh. To sum it up, it was a wonderful period of my life. I learnt so much about the art of broadcasting, about the art of interviewing, and about the art of live television, that if I never had that experience, I would never be where I am today. Learning to be adaptable is something that you can't teach.
Yeah.
You have to do it on the run, and that was the ultimate forum to do that. And it's sort of a shame that something like that really doesn't exist anymore, to be honest. Everything else is quite controlled.
Yeah.
Did you like the footy show? Because I know some players loved coming on it and others did not.
Did you go on it, Izzy?
Yeah, so I went on a few times. I enjoyed going on it. I didn't necessarily enjoy watching it.
Right.
But I'm not a footy show watcher.
Sure.
But I love being on things.
Because it was such a vibe, the night.
I think the vibe, the energy that you get from being on air on radio,
It's
on
addictive,
air,
isn't
on
it?
TV, and it's great.
Yeah.
And I always get home and my wife, Candice, she'll say like, oh, how did you go? Not that she really cares, but she'll be like, how did you go? And I'll be like,
It's just a throwaway.
She's being polite.
line.
She's being polite. She
Walk
doesn't
in the
even want the
door.
answer.
Hi, honey, how was your day?
Sweet,
Yeah, whatever.
can you put the kettle on? But you get home and you're like, it was awesome, but I don't know what I said. And then you have that little sick feeling in your stomach, but then you want to do it again.
Yeah.
And I feel like the footy show would have been like that. And I want to backtrack a little bit because you talk about those 3 hats you felt like you had to wear. Do you feel like when you're on air, you put a bit of a mask on and you're a character as such? Or do you think you've got old enough and wise enough that you can now be your true self?
The latter.
The latter?
Yeah.
But how long did that take?
A while.
Yeah.
Yeah, a long time. Probably because of my professional upbringing being in news.
Yeah.
You know, if I just went into media like you've gone into media, they've employed you because of who you are.
Yeah.
I was trained and groomed to be a journalist.
Yeah.
So you have to sort of remove the shackles a little bit, because as a journalist and being in a newsroom, the story's not about you. You're not supposed to be you. You're just supposed to be a figure
Yeah.
talking about the news, very straighty 180. But it's difficult to move into, I can just be me. And maybe that's frightening for people. Maybe the straighty 180 me is better than the real me.
Not at all. You are the head of sport.
My title is The Chief.
Or the chief of sport.
Chief.
But sport...
Show some respect to the chief, please.
Sport traditionally
I'd
has
like you to
been
call me
the
Chief
The
from this
chief.
point on.
There's a few chiefs. We've got Jay Clark.
That's
we've
true.
got Jason Dunstall, and now we've got Rebecca Maddern.
Female chief. You haven't had a female chief.
No,
have
what do
you?
you call a female chief? A chief S? or-
Chiefette.
Chiefette.
But traditionally sport, especially in Australia, is a male-dominated
Sure.
industry.
And it was when I started
Yeah,
in the newsroom.
how is it being a fair? I feel like as a player, and I'll use my example, maybe this isn't right, but I feel like I had a better connection with the females than you did with the males.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Really
How-
interesting.
Do you
So-
find that the players
you-
engage with you differently because you're female?
I think so.
Or coaches or people in the industry? or-
100%. I think a lot of players, and I can't put a percentage on it, would prefer to speak to a female.
Yeah.
And maybe I'll even go further, a female that hasn't played the game.
Yeah.
Because they know I'm not going to sit there. Like, I stay in my lane. I'm not going to talk about, the back six setup, I'm not going to talk about the specifics and logistics of the game, because I haven't played the game. I understand it to some degree, but that's not my speciality.
Yeah.
I love talking about football and sport in general. About what intrigues me about sport is the winning mentality, how you train to get yourself up to perform in a very stressful environment. Those are the aspects of sport that I love. How you train your whole life for, perhaps if you're a runner, for a 20-second sprint.
Yeah.
How you do that every 4 years and perform at the Olympics, and I just think that is mind-blowing
But I
as
think
an athlete.
Performing on air is very similar.
Do
I
you
find.
think?
Yeah, because you are, especially when it's live, and you talked about the footy show, that you have to perform for that period of time, whatever it is, and
yeah.
you're under pressure.
Yeah.
And and pressure is internally what you create. So you can decide if you want it to be a ridiculous pressure or if you want to calm it right down. And that's one thing you learn playing elite sport.
Yeah.
But I think media and being on air is something that lights you up, similar to sport.
Definitely
Yeah,
gives you an
interesting.
adrenaline rush. I think we can all, in the room, all three of us can agree that there's an adrenaline rush
Yeah.
into any degree.
Yeah. So you're saying that I could play in a grand final?
Oh, you need talent on the field as well.
Although
You've
I'd
got
like to see
talent in
that-
front of a camera.
I would like to see that hairstyle running around the
Yeah.
MCG. That's
Well-
actually
Oh,
it doesn't
quite cool.
move,
It doesn't
Elliot.
move. In your career, which has spanned
Careful.
spanned a little while,
2 years.
Two
to be highly recognised as one of the most proficient in the Australian media, let's say it like that. Who has been your biggest support throughout your career? Who's
Oh, good
been
question.
kind of in your corner throughout Beck Maddern growing?
My husband.
Well, that's a safe answer. Trent, we
No,
love you, babe.
it's
I
true
mean, in the
because-
industry, apart
no,
from Trent.
Do you know what though?
Go, of course. Please, of course.
I will go with that because he is in the industry.
Of course, he is too.
He's a former
course.
he's a former cameraman, and he gets television more than me. He is so great at he's not on the tools anymore and has gone on to wonderful things, but he is. In fact, I've never met anybody who's so great at identifying talent, really
Shit, he's not the borders.
honing in on the nuances that make
Don't hold your breath.
honing in on the nuances that make a broadcaster a great broadcaster. So he is my number one sounding board, and not because he's my husband, because he really understands television. So I do have I maybe have a sneaky advantage.
I was going to say, you've got a bit of a double threat there.
I have an advantage that he is someone who I really listen to. And when he says, oh, that was really good, it is really good. If he says nothing, then I know it wasn't so good.
So talk to me about the dynamics then. Is there a bit of like, my wife would be my biggest supporter, but gee, we can argue.
In terms of work?
Well, if he comes home and he critiques something, do you
Sure.
buy in straight away, or are you bang and then you sit back and think about
I'm
it
like,
later?
no. Give him all the reasons as to why it was
amazing.
terrible.
Oh, I thought you were going to say why it was amazing.
No.
It wasn't my fault.
Exactly. I
It was
like,
his fault.
You
I
don't
have to sit
understand.
next to, I have to sit next to Mike.
These cameramans suck.
It's like, absolutely. I was put under so much pressure. You don't understand what was going on. I was saving the broadcast. I will say my husband has been that constant person who I've gone to because he loves me, obviously, but because he really knows television and broadcasting, and I really respect what he says.
That's very cool. Now, Izzy's become quite the fashion aficionado on this project.
Hasn't he?
I want to know this. Do you use your work wardrobe? Because obviously you're on air 24/7.
365 days a year.
Listening on Christmas morning, guys. But do
morning.
you use your fashion as a bit of a power play? Like, do you like to use your wardrobe
Morning,
to
Diego.
empower you when
Yes.
you're on air?
Very much.
I love it. And why is that? And how do you do that?
Very much. You actually mentioned something before. It's like sometimes you feel like you're getting into a little bit of a character,
Yeah.
not in a silly character way, but for me, getting ready for a broadcast, whether it be football or something else, is I got to get in that that mindset. So this is very important. I'm broadcasting to a lot of people. I need to be on, and part of my makeup and hair and fashion helps me get in that groove of who I need to be that night. So I'm not a mum. I am a mum, but I'm not a mum for the next couple of hours.
Yeah.
I'm talking sport. I'm talking there's, a lot of money at stake. There's a lot of very important people that I was speaking to, and I need to get into, I suppose it's like preparing for a game. I'm preparing for a game. My fashion, my hair and my makeup is part of that preparation.
Have you built a specific fashion persona? Like some people would say, I'm into florals or I love tailoring. Like, is there something that really makes you feel like you're empowered
I was
in
gonna
your
ask that question as well.
in
Were
your
you?
wardrobe? Is there something that you love that you're like, I feel like I could take on the world?
I like clean, structured looks with a little bit of individuality. So a little bit of a quirk, whether it be in the lipstick colour or whether it be in the hairdo or whether it be in the nail. I like there to be something that's me, which is, I think now my style is pretty classic with an edge.
I say I would define your style as very powerful.
Yeah, I was going to say boss lady vibes.
Like,
That's
boss
what I
lady. There you go. That's a great colloquialism.
Yeah,
Boss lady.
Boss
Very
lady
powerful.
vibes.
You
And I-
own. You look like you own what you do. So you are really embodying the powerful woman.
And I think your dressing needs to suit the environment. We mentioned florals. I'm not going to turn up and interview.
Ever.
You'll look like the grass. You'll literally look like the grass and be like, get the lawnmower out.
I'm just not. I'm not sure if florals really work anywhere, to be honest.
Well,
at a wedding
maybe
they
at a springtime wedding.
Yeah,
Don't listen.
maybe, but-
Don't listen to
At the
him. Beck.
races? I could
maybe
list
at
you
the
10
races.
places.
And
Exactly.
we live in Melbourne though, and the weather's
Florals.
horrific.
Isaac, florals work.
Don't try and educate him on the benefit of florals.
I
We'll
would
be
say
here
though,
until next Tuesday.
I'm an uneducated style man, or whatever we call
Learning.
that. But I would say
Boss lady.
every time you're photographed in whatever you wear, you could always look at it and say that looked good. It's never like too out there or too fashion forward that
love
it's
that.
like, oh my God, what are you wearing?
Oh, lovely.
But that's a great segue. Has there ever been an outfit that you've worn that you knew was going to make headlines even before you hit the air?
Yeah, the night you dressed me.
Oh, no. I knew it. I knew that this was going to come up. I fucking knew it. I knew
It would have
you-
been florals.
No.
No. It wasn't flowers. I fucking knew that was going to be the answer. I'm like, do I ask
Did
it?
you?
I'm setting myself up. I knew it. Okay, so we'll throw up a visual to when because Beck and I worked together. Yes.
I'm not saying
It was Logie's 2019, I
I
reckon.
don't know the year.
Yeah, it was 2019 because it was pre-COVID. And I styled Beck for the Logie's red carpet. At the time, you were hosting Australian Ninja Warrior with Ben Fordham,
Correct.
and you guys did the red carpet together.
Correct.
So describe the outfit to the listeners, please. And for those watching, we'll obviously throw up a visual.
So it had a very high split. It was a very pink, gorgeous, corseted
Highly
gown.
corseted.
Highly corseted gown, which in
So
turn,
the tight ones.
yeah, really
Makes the waist
correct.
like cinch.
makes the waist tiny, but makes the
knockers.
bust
Oh, pop.
area.
Yeah,
Come up.
right.
So Which
which Isaac obviously thinks is fantastic.
No, I'm not saying
But-
anything.
let's stay clear of this one. But horses for courses. I wasn't doing news at the time.
Yes.
I was hosting an entertainment show, a fun entertainment show.
Yeah.
News was, I didn't know if I was ever even going back into news. I didn't know if that was my life for me anymore. I was doing, an entertainment show. So I said to Elliot, I did give him permission. He didn't just surprise me with this. I said,
No, we did weeks and weeks of work on that gown. We went to multiple fittings. We built out the concept. It was meant to be very va-va-voom,
Yeah,
very sexy.
exactly.
A little bit like,
you
uh,
know, just
Google it.
just
I like
va-va-voom.
va-va-voom, like
Whoa.
sexy, gorgeous, leggy.
Yeah.
We kind of were like, it was a little bit like Jessica Rabbit-y
Yeah,
vibes.
correct.
Do you know who Jessica Rabbit is?
No.
Okay. We're falling on deaf ears. We'll start with florals and we'll work our way to Jessica Rabbit at this point.
I'm sure our listeners
So
know. who
Our
that-
listeners will know.
Oh, I watched
It was
Black
a-
Rabbit. Similar?
No.
No.
Don't.
No.
Keep moving.
No.
Keep
so
moving.
it was a beautiful gown and I loved wearing it.
I
Can I
loved it
tell you
too.
what happened when I got dressed? Can
What
I
happened?
tell Isaac? You know what happened.
Well, I was
'cause you
there.
were there.
I put you in the dress.
I know, but what happened to you when I got in the dress?
Jesus Christ, we're really going down memory lane. Sure, you can tell that
He
story.
does blush a bit.
He no, he didn't
It
blush.
was a very modest moment actually for me.
He started to get a little tear in
Oh,
his
you got
eye.
teary.
I did.
It was like he was preparing me for my
Minimal
wedding.
times in my career where I've actually had a moment where I've stopped to reflect. Obviously, fashion's very transactional, so things are coming and going very quickly, and it's also very seasonal, so you don't really get time to invest in the outcome, but certainly not the process, because you're always thinking about the next thing. And so I thought at that time, I haven't thought about this for years, actually, it's interesting that we bring this up. I took a moment to reflect because I'd known Beck for a significant portion of my life. She's a very close person to me. She trusted me with that outfit, which is more than an outfit, because when you're working with somebody on that level over an extended period of time, it's very intimate. Like styling people, yes, we take the piss all the time out of fashion on the pod, but fashion is very intimate and it is a lot of people's way that they find their identity and their self-expression. And so I was really taken aback by that. And I saw how you felt in that moment when you were all done. And I got emotional because the process meant a lot to me, your trust meant a lot to me, and our friendship meant a lot to me. And so for the outcome to be so successful was really special.
Yeah,
So
and then
thank you
thought,
all these
God,
years later.
didn't realise you had such big boobs.
And neither did the Australian media, apparently, because it was every headline for the next 2 weeks.
How good, though.
Oh, whatever.
Anyway, it was great. It was great. It was great.
They're boobs. Anyway, I've never been seen again.
And you got. Do you know what? Maybe we should get that pink gown out for you next MCG Live Cross.
Oh, that is so good.
But do you know what? I do want to make a point that I think it's interesting because you talk about footy and fashion and you talk about the things and I take great pride in how I present myself. I think it's part of my job to present myself well. But I really enjoy fashion, so that's a really enjoyable part of my job. But just because someone likes fashion doesn't mean they can't like football. You know,
Hello,
fashion,
look at this podcast.
yeah, but fashion is often, looked upon as like, it's flippant and it's not really serious. Just because you're really interested in something that is deemed that, which is silly to begin with, doesn't mean you can't be, really serious about football or really serious about sport, which on paper people don't think the two align. I think they align perfectly well.
Well, I think you're seeing now, especially in Australian culture, it's getting more heavily. But you look at America.
That's
and you
where
look
I
at,
was
And
going.
you look at
Yeah.
Europe.
Yeah.
That's where
Like
I
it's
was going.
crazy. Like I opened the NFL app this morning, and they're giving you a full rundown on players arriving at the ground because they're all in different fashion, and they
100%.
fully embrace it. Where I think Australia's got a long way to go in its understanding around those types.
It's just I don't want ever people to think that you can't take me seriously because
Yeah.
I've got a great outfit on. It should be the other way around.
Yeah.
Like, she takes her job really professionally
Yeah.
because she's dressing for the moment. She's done her preparation and, she's the whole
Do you do a
the
lot
whole
of it
thing.
yourself, or does Seven give you a stylist?
No,
or-
I do. I think as I've gone on and my fashion sense has evolved and I know and more comfortable as who I am with a person and a broadcaster, I know what looks good on me. I think better than anybody else now what suits me.
Yeah.
And there are certain things about television that, certain things look great in real life. They don't look great on television.
Totally.
And you don't want when I'm working, I can't have hair all in my face as much as I would want my hair down with that outfit. It doesn't work. So I have my hair back. I have things that aren't fussy, things that aren't going to open or close or be crumpled or, there's a lot of factors to consider when you're dressing for television. So sometimes I don't get to wear exactly what I would want, but I do a lot of it myself. I have help and I ask for advice all the time, but I love trawling the internet and looking at different colour combinations or whatever. I can't push it too much because
She's just like the rest of us, guys.
Yeah,
She's on Pinterest looking
not-
for
I
not-
inspiration.
am, and I
Not
have
the
little
rest of us.
mood
We're
boards.
speaking to our female audience, Izzy, not our male
I
audience at this
have,
point.
like everybody else, I have a whole folder. I have mood boards of, great trenches or scarves or accessories that can really lift a shirt and blazer because we're sort of restricted a little bit. But can you add a little bit of spice that makes it a memorable outfit? But my boots, my combat boots this year.
I'm going to take a good look at them.
Oh, yeah,
Next time.
they're sexy.
I'm assuming the DMs have blown up.
Everybody loves
the
my
combats.
Everybody loves my combat boots, and they were so cheap. They were like cheap.
What's cheap?
Oh,
Come on,
I don't know.
plug the
They were
brand.
like
Plug the brand. $80. That
they were
is
like
cheap.
$80 or something.
That's a steal.
I think I have a couple. I think one was a Midas pair, and the other one was a Kurt Geiger. Is
Oh,
it
yeah, Kurt Geiger, yeah.
Yeah, Kurt Geiger, who
He's a
does
good
a lot
fella,
of
Kurt.
boots.
Yeah,
and
a lot of
lace up,
Yeah, good guy.
lace up sort of boots.
Now, before we move out of fashion, I just want to, as we have just touched on now, so many people follow you for your personal sense of style because it has become.
Do they?
Yes, they do.
Do
And
they?
I say this to you often. I said this to you recently. I love this personal sense of style that you've really developed and become synonymous with this powerful woman, or as Izzy said, the boss lady. What's one piece of styling
Here we go.
advice?
Does
it make me scary?
You'll be going to Canberra. You'll be the PM.
What's one? Stop it.
I'll advise you.
What? That's just turn off the microphones.
Wow.
And what is one piece of styling advice you'd leave for the listeners?
One piece of styling advice that a garment that fits you well is better than any other garment, be it the price tag or the brand. If it's a $80 jacket that fits you like a glove, wear that as opposed to the $800 jacket that is not quite right on the shoulders, because I think that is truly the difference. So I spend a lot of time at the tailors. I'm always tweaking little bits and pieces because I think a well-fitting garment looks exquisite.
That's advice I give to people all the time as well. Like getting something altered is the differentiation between making something look like it was from the rack or making it look like it was made for you.
100%.
What's funny, this whole conversation reminds me of a guy I used to play footy with, Josh Gibson.
Yeah,
And
I know Josh.
His motto
From
in
Hawks.
life-
I know Josh
yeah.
too, actually.
Yeah, well, you both know Josh. He's a very stylish man.
Very
And he
stylish.
was always look good, feel good, play good. And that was his whole...
Oh, I love that.
That was his whole mantra about everything. So you talking the whole time then, I was thinking about Josh.
Thinking about Josh.
Because Luke Hodge and I sat next to each other in the locker room, and maybe
Hodgie wouldn't have cared
maybe
what
look
he-
good, feel good,
No,
play good
I'm
wasn't in
thinking
our
Hodgie,
realm.
I'm like, no.
Nah, not at all. He'd rock
And
up.
I work with Hodgie now very closely.
And I don't
so
want
I
to
adore him.
I don't want to put brands off in that, but Hodgie would rock up in his half-ripped Just Jeans top, and that was very stylish in Colac back in the day, but probably didn't necessarily work for South Yarra Toorak. But
2025.
and that's the segue into beauty. So Josh, moisturiser, everything. He was always on it. So he was a very new age guy in an old type of football club.
Yeah.
And it was, led by Sam Mitchell and Luke Hodge, who were
Anti-moisturiser.
yeah, anti-moisturiser. Yeah.
And you know what? It shows on their face now. Those boys should have started moisturising in their late teens or their early 20s.
Hang on, where were you sitting on the moisturiser? Were you a non-moisturiser camp or a moisturiser?
Well, I did tell you I grew up with
How moisturised were you, Izzy?
3 sisters.
Yeah.
But yes, sometimes I do exfoliate and moisturise.
No, back then, not now.
A lot of sunscreen. I used to use a moisturiser in the morning because we're in the sun a lot. That had sunscreen in it.
Oh, yeah.
So
The tooth
I
up.
think it was called Natio or no?
Yeah.
Is that right?
That's a brand.
Sound-
Yeah.
sound
I don't know
right?
if it was, but
Yeah.
that's a brand.
No,
Tick, we're on the right track.
Natio.
Yeah, Natio.
Yeah,
I think it's
whatever.
Australian, actually.
I don't know how it was pronounced, but that's what I used to use, and it was a SPF 50. And so I'd moisturise every morning, but it has sunscreen in it.
Well, I've got this
you.
youthful glow. Okay, so we've dominated TV, we've dominated footy, we've dominated fashion, we've dominated family life with your
I don't
beautiful
know.
daughter Ruby and your gorgeous husband Trent.
I love how
What
you keep...
is next?
What is next? Well, it's a big question, isn't it? Because I I don't think you can plan your life out perfectly, but something I can plan out perfectly is I have teamed up with a girlfriend of mine. Her name is also Rebecca, so it's a perfect partnership.
Great for everybody that you have to work with.
Really easy.
Nobody will forget your names.
Only have to remember one name. And we are starting up a beauty brand, something that is for women just like us, that have high expectations.
Just like you and Rebecca.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You looked me straight in the eye when you said just like
Oh,
us.
did I? You can come on board.
Do you have a moisturiser with
There's
sunscreen
no
in it?
reason why you can't come on board. But it's a brand for women just like us that want really effective products, but very simplistic products that are at the cutting edge of innovation and technology, but they need to arrive to us as all the hard work done. So there are so many things out there that you've got to do this, you've got to do this, you've got to do this. I don't have time for all of that. I want when I, get a product to think all of the hard work is done for me. So we want to build a brand with that in mind. And the beauty space is a really interesting one at the moment. There are so many innovations and we are right in the middle of that, and it's been a really fun, invigorating process to go through. Teaming up with a girlfriend is also something that I always really wanted to do. As you get older, I think you reassess your life, and friendships and girlfriends being a big part of it become really important to you. And teaming up in a business sense with a girlfriend who I'm very close with is really invigorating. Two like-minded women coming together to create things for women out there that we can help. That's what we want to do. And we've both, lived a really full, wonderful life, and we feel like that we can really develop things and develop this space for women just like us. So women work really hard, and we want to develop a brand that will work really hard for them. So that area of their life is taken care of. We're going to do all the hard work for them.
So you talked about what makes it easy. You want to get the end product. So effectively I took out of that.
Yes.
You want it to be easy for a female to
Yes.
be able to zhuzh themselves up, or
Correct.
whatever you call it.
So it's ease and it's convenience. And it needs to be effective, but it needs to be cutting edge. It needs to be what's on trend.
So what's one beauty hack then?
A beauty hack?
Yeah.
Oh, a beauty hack.
What's on your cheat sheet? What do you do when you're getting ready for telly that the girls can do at home?
Oh, geez. Well, TV is a bit different. Can I just talk about normal everyday
Day-to-day.
life? Because I think TV is a whole nother different world.
Certainly a different kind of makeup.
It is a different kind of makeup. This is really cliche, but I think it's really important, is having good skin, wearing your sunscreen, those types of things are really important. But you're not going to create a beautiful face if you don't have a really good canvas. So looking after yourself and preparing your skin for the makeup, whether it be just a quick lick of foundation, some quick eyebrows, quick lick of mascara. It doesn't have to take. Looking at me weirdly.
He has no idea what any of those words mean.
It doesn't have to take.
He's like, what's mascara? What are eyebrows?
Exactly.
You reckon hack's a funny word? Quick lick, quick lick, quick lick.
It doesn't have to take very long. Something that I have learned along the way, though, and this is going to seem ridiculous because I've got a full face of makeup on today because I have been working, is less is more. I think less is more these days. Less makeup, beautiful skin, and a fresh look, so you still look like you. Makeup should be an enhancer, not a changer. You still need to look like you.
So beginning of a beauty empire with your girlfriend Rebecca.
I hope so.
Extremely exciting time.
Yeah.
You have a beautiful little girl, Ruby, who idolizes you. What do you want this brand launch to impact her? What do you think she would say to you?
She is a really fascinating, interesting little girl. And I sometimes look at her life and think, does she think it's normal that people come home from work in a full face of makeup, get to wear glamorous gowns all the time? I play down all of that when I get home. I take off the makeup, I put on my pajamas, I put on a tracksuit. I'm very normal, and I don't really talk about what I do because for me that's a little bit of a fantasy world, and I don't want her to think that, you go to work and you just get pretty and you do your thing and then you come home. I don't want that to be how she thinks about work and life. I want her to think about work and life that you have to work really hard, you set yourself a goal, those things. So I don't want makeup and dresses and all that to sort of influence her too much, even though it's a lot of my job. But that's not the true essence of my job and who I am. That's all the exterior sort of fun stuff I get to do. But I want her to look at me and think that Mum worked really hard. She changed things for women along the way, and women can do everything. And she said to me something very fascinating in the car just this morning, and I'm not making this up. She said, "Mum, is it true that women can do more than men?"
I reckon it's true.
I
actually
thought
genuinely reckon
That
it's
is
true.
And
incredible.
30 years ago, there is no way a little girl would have sat in the car knowing that her mum has to race off to work, saying, it would have more been the question, I think, from a little girl would have been like, oh, could I grow up and do that? Could I do this? There's no could. She honestly just thought the tables have completely turned in her mind. I thought, that's some good
I was
parenting.
about to say that is exceptional parenting.
Well, I don't think so.
Well,
but
and as a man, I don't think until you become a father, you actually realise how much more women can do than men.
Well, or on that note, start a podcast because we're the only men on our team.
Yeah, we are.
This is held up by women. Our producer Rosie's laughing in the background. We are women, honestly, from our mothers to influential figures in our life, we'd be absolutely lost without the women that make this world go round, especially speaking on behalf of Isaac and I. We've said this a lot off camera. And so shout out. That's really cool that Ruby said that.
It was really cool.
So we're going to finish with a bit of rapid fire. We just want some quick questions. Favourite cafe?
Favourite cafe. I get my coffee from Maker in the morning, so I like
Maker?
their coffee. Yep.
Where's that?
Chirac Road, South Yarra.
Yeah.
Oh, that don't reach where I am.
No, it's in our hood. We're neighbours.
Cafe, restaurant, bar. Oh, sorry, we did cafe, bar, restaurant.
Bar, restaurant. At the moment, it's a new one. Chris Lucas, I think he's a magician, so it'd be Maison Batard. At the moment.
What's your favourite holiday destination?
Oh, gee. Oh, I don't know. In Australia, can I
So
separate
you can say
it?
wherever you want, anywhere in the world.
global.
Throw a pin.
In Australia, I've just come back from Noosa and I really love Noosa. It's a place I just truly relax. Also along the Great Ocean Road, it's another place I truly relax. This is not answering the question at all. And country overseas would be Italy. I love Italy so much. Take me anywhere, any place. Love it.
Yeah.
I reckon Florence, Tuscany would have to be my number one.
Loved it.
Oh, it's just brilliant. We've been back there 4 times, I reckon.
Have you?
Just because it is so
It's beautiful, isn't it?
Oh, it's
I'm
magical.
taking notes on this. Maison Batard after the grand final, 4 times in Florence.
Well,
I'm like,
I reckon-
the tide is turning on this podcast,
I
Rosie.
reckon-
Please take
Why?
note.
The next one's you, Elliot.
Favourite brand,
Clothing.
clothing brand that you would go to for your day-to-day wardrobe.
These are hard questions.
Yeah.
because-
Be
no, they are.
careful because this is a stylist.
No, they are.
I'm wearing a Zara jacket today.
What's wrong with that?
Well, exactly. It doesn't have to necessarily be bougie. You can find a favourite brand anywhere.
Day to day, my go-to. Okay, can I rephrase the question? Saying, what's a shop I would go into that I know that I can get a great
Yeah, love that.
outfit from?
Perfect.
Yeah.
It's been around forever. I know it's going to look chic. It would be Scanlan Theodore. Because
I
I
know
walk
that
in
one.
and you know that one?
I've spent time in
I
there.
know
Tried
that
and true.
Yes.
Aussie icon.
Yes.
Are they just off Chapel Street?
They used to be on. There's stores
Still on
everywhere.
Chapel
They're still on
Yeah,
Chapel.
still on Chapel.
Yep.
Yeah.
No, I have been in there.
I think we know the answer to this one, but
Well,
Izzy?
I reckon we'll change it because we know your favourite team is Geelong. What's your favourite sporting event?
The grand final I love, but I also love the Melbourne Cup.
Oh, yeah?
I love the Melbourne Cup. I grew up on a farm. We
Yeah.
had horses.
You can wear florals.
Only on Oak Stage, just for those listening.
I love horses. I used to ride them a lot,
Yeah.
and I have a love just the beauty of the animal. And I think the Melbourne Cup is the pinnacle, and it's just so fun.
Best styling advice you've been given?
There is that styling advice that says take one thing off. I'm pretty minimal, so if I was taking one thing off, I'd be down to a bra. So,
And we all know how everyone reacts to that.
don't want to do that again.
Oh, you're in entertainment.
Elliot would say this. I'm often quite matchy, aren't I?
But that's a great way to be because it's formulaic.
Yeah, I do quite matchy-matchy. You puzzled by this? So I would do often a matching bag and a matching shoe. Lots of people mix it up, but
I'm with you. I'm very matchy-matchy.
I'm a little bit. I thought you always pay me out.
No,
You're
I
so
like matchy-matchy. One of my best girlfriends, Jess Pecoraro, another
Yes.
celebrity stylist,
Yes.
she's the opposite. She's like, oh, nothing has to match. I'm like, I can't even look at that. I need the shoes to match the belt to match the bag.
Yeah.
Whereas she's like, the blue shoe with the red belt, and I'm like, oh my God, girl.
I'm exactly the same. I've got no style in me whatsoever, but it has to match.
Has to match.
Yeah.
You would never do a brown belt with black shoes.
Oh, no.
Oh,
No.
See, there we go.
No.
I'm impressed.
Yeah. Always brown belt, brown shoes,
Yeah.
black belt, black shoes.
yeah, good one.
Favorite person outside of your husband and daughter?
Favorite
Yeah.
person.
Give us someone.
We're obviously sitting right here, so you can
Yeah.
choose him or me.
Yeah. They don't even. They can be somewhat fictional. They
They could be in
someone
this room.
overseas, They could be in this room. This is a hard one.
They could be wearing a brown leather jacket.
And I hate these questions. You know why?
Why?
I
Because you
can't
think
see.
You can't answer them.
I'm going to answer this one, and there's going to be 10 people going to text me and say, "Oh, I'm not your favorite person."
Say Mickey Mouse.
My mum.
Oh, I can absolutely attest to that. Your mum is iconic. Grandma Wens, well, not to you.
Grandma. You may not call her grandma.
She might hit me over the head.
Wendy
Yeah,
Gurrell is one of the chicest women you will ever meet in your entire life. I'm obviously speaking on when I initially met her, but she's also one of the most beautiful, warm, fabulous, kind, generous women to sit down and have a cup of tea with.
I reckon we'll get that answer a lot. Parents. But that was going to be a rapid round. It certainly wasn't rapid. But if you could,
So sorry. That
if-
was so long and drawn
if
out.
you could recommend someone in your network, someone really interesting, who would you want to interview or jump on this podcast?
Who do you reckon could suffer Izzy and I through a podcast?
Do you know what I think would be a really fascinating chat, the two of you, because you are so different. And I used to work with him. Do you know who I'm going to say?
No.
I used to work with him on television.
Oh, I know exactly what you're going to say. I'm going to write it down
Ben Fordham.
first.
No?
Who?
Yes.
Who?
Correct. Sam Newman. I think he would sit here for the most part just going, what is happening and what are you talking about?
Sam Newman, we're coming for you.
Yeah. I reckon he'd jump on as well.
Probably.
Yeah.
Look, people,
He's polarizing, but
so polarizing.
he's
You
highly
sort of
intelligent.
love him or loathe him. He is highly intelligent. And I will say this, and people still don't believe me to this day. He was so supportive of me being on the footy show, probably more than, not that the others weren't,
Yeah.
but he was ridiculously supportive. And that just blew people away. But it was legitimate.
I feel like the headlines he creates is so different to the person he is.
Yeah. Yeah.
If that
would
makes
be
sense.
He would be a very interesting
Okay, Sam Newman.
guest.
We'll get an email and we'll get a number after this. But hello, Auntie Becky. Thank you so much for coming on No Utes in the
Is that
Valet.
it?
That is it. I'm sorry.
No.
Do you want to keep talking?
You
Well,
said, you
can
said we had
stay.
to be done for an hour.
Yeah, exactly. You only gave us an hour of your time. You're the busiest woman in television.
No, I'd like to stay. Can I do part two?
We can get the
Part
wine
two.
out. Let's get the wine out.
Yeah, what
Do
time
part
is it as we film this? It's quarter past 2. That's
so
perfect. Got plenty
many
of time.
more things we could discuss.
Oh, no, there was
Honestly,
so many things.
we're so humbled that you're our first guest on our little podcast. You have been in both of our lives for very different reasons, but to have you on here as a friend of both of ours is really, really special. To have you first is even more special. Thank you for being so honest with us.
Thank you.
Thank you for taking us behind the curtain in your career. And I think it's really, really special to have had you here, and we're very privileged. So thank you.
Well, can I just say it's a big adventure for two people who have come from different worlds to actually come together and create a podcast or create something together. So, right back at you. I think it's very adventurous and a wonderful thing to do. And just because you're from different walks of life, had different upbringings, interested in different things, doesn't mean that you can't have a wonderful friendship as you do. And I think as you get older and wiser, and I'm older than both of you,
Only
those
just.
those things are really, really important. And friendships and connections mean a lot as you get older. So cherish it all.
Okay, time
Thanks,
for beer or time for champagne on that note. Thank you, Beck.
Thank you.
Pleasure.
That was a lot of fun.